Great season. We said from the beginning we had a really special group, just the way that we approached every single day. We worked really, really hard this season. DJ said it in the locker room. I think all of us got better this season. So, it's a tough ending for us.
It's one thing to be a skilled basketball player and another to just be loud on the court. Napheesa Collier lets her performance speak for itself, focusing on skill and strategy. On the other hand, players like Angel Reese often bring drama, distractions, and questionable tactics into the game.
As like you said, you guys are talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. And so that brings more eyeballs to the game. Again, I don't agree with what she did, but I like the fact that women's basketball and women's sports is such a conversation piece.
Everyone's talking about it, and that attention brings more viewers to the game. Now, I don't agree with what she did, but I do appreciate that women's basketball and women's sports are getting more recognition.
Pace, a rollout. How about Rose holding McBride to just 5 points? Reese claps her hands and reaches in with the puck. Oh, she just got teed up.
So I didn't see the reaction.
Napheesa Collier just called out Angel Reese for playing dirty, and it looks like things are only getting more heated from here.
I just have to say, I wouldn't be here without my team and my coaches. Yes, give it up for them.
Collier has proven herself as a true leader and fierce competitor. She was named Unrivaled's first-ever MVP, leading the league with an impressive 25.7 points per game and ranking in the top 5 for rebounds. She also dominated the mid-season one-on-one tournament, winning the $200,000 prize, then gave half of it to her team's staff and trainers. That's the kind of player she is. She wins, she leads, and she lifts others up.
Just being with this team was a high. Like I said, our chemistry was great from the beginning. The way that we approached every day so professionally, how locked in we were. It was just a pleasure to be with this team. We had a great coaching staff. So obviously, we want to take that into next year, but kind of just thinking about this for tonight for a little bit. Yeah, with the question.
Collier has proven herself as a true leader and fierce competitor. She was named Unrivaled's first-ever MVP, leading the league with an impressive 25.7 points per game and ranking in the top 5 for rebounds. She also dominated the mid-season one-on-one tournament, winning the $200,000 prize, then gave half of it to her team's staff and trainers. That's the kind of player she is. She wins, she leads, and she lifts others up.
An excellent job putting the pressure on one another, defending as well.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, is taking a very different approach. Instead of focusing on her game, she often finds herself caught up in controversy and distractions. Her style is aggressive and reckless, sometimes crossing the line into dirty play. Rather than relying on skill to outplay opponents, she seems more focused on intimidation. And when things don't go her way, she tends to complain, play the victim, or seek attention elsewhere.
As this time from 2, off one leg, Reese with the board. She's got 20 and 20 tonight. But an offensive foul. And that would be her 6th. And she's trying to convince her head coach to challenge.
Angel Reese's season with Unrivaled has been more about making headlines than making plays. She was ejected from a game for unnecessary antics, and now that an injury has ruled her out of the playoffs, she's once again shifting the focus away from basketball. Instead of using this time to improve, she spends more of it on social media, posting dance videos, promoting her podcast, and making statements that have little to do with the game. This is the issue with Reese. She wants to be seen as a superstar, but she's not putting in the work to actually become one. While Napheesa Collier is leading teams and breaking records, Reese is more focused on the hype than on developing her skills. She relies on drama, hoping that being loud will make up for what she lacks in ability. At some point, Reese will have to make a choice. Does she want to be a true champion like Collier, or does she just want fame? Because right now, Collier is building a legacy, while Reese is chasing attention. There's a difference between playing tough and playing reckless, sloppy, and dirty. And every time Reese steps on the court, she proves which side she's on, falling more than she scores, throwing elbows instead of making plays, and missing layups that should be easy points. Yet, somehow, the refs continue to let it slide.
Money wasn't an option. What could we get? And honestly, we got like almost everything because we really try to make the experience as good as possible for the athlete. We want to make it worth their while. We try to, if there's anything you guys want, let us know. Any to heart, we try to accommodate for it. I feel like there's not for
Game after game, Angel Reese charges into defenders, throws up a weak shot, and then flails her arms, hoping for a foul call. But instead of working on her finishing or improving her footwork, she just leans harder into rough play. She shoves, grabs, and hacks at players with actual skill, all while the refs turn a blind eye. And let's talk about those missed layups. With her size and athleticism, she should dominate around the rim, yet she constantly struggles to finish. She gets good looks but rushes her shots, loses focus, or simply bricks them. Then, instead of getting back on defense, she immediately fouls whoever grabs the rebound, trying to make it seem like she's playing tough, when in reality, she's just making up for bad offense. Meanwhile, Napheesa Collier is the complete opposite. She plays with grace, makes smart decisions, and never relies on cheap fouls to make her presence known. While Reese is out there throwing bodies around like a football player, Collier leads with skill, poise, and precision. She doesn't need to hack and slap at opponents to leave an impact. Her game speaks for itself.
She knows that. But then I also look at the play she drew up, and the play was for Burrell to get downhill. So it's interesting, you know, the communication of you want Howard to step up, but the play for Burrell probably because she wants to get her going.
The worst part? The refs let Reese get away with it. Other players would get called for fouls in a heartbeat, but somehow, she gets a free pass to throw cheap shots and play reckless basketball. Maybe it's because of her name, or maybe it's the drama she brings, but whatever the reason, it's hurting the game for everyone watching.
She was working on a shoot around this morning. A power dribble by Reese. Couldn't finish high off the glass. Shaves out space. Angel Reese on the putback.
Scoring point. They'd love to watch her play.
Well, no doubt, Holly, and she's on the bench right now with 2 fouls after a very suspect first foul, where it didn't look like she really made any contact with Alyssa Thomas. Now, one thing to keep in mind, because I know we are going to have some...
At some point, the league needs to step in and put an end to this. Basketball is about skill, not just forcing your way into the spotlight with reckless play. But as long as the refs keep ignoring it, Reese will continue fouling, flopping, and failing, while real players like Collier keep winning. Now, her reckless style has finally caught up with her. Reese has been ruled out of the unrivaled semifinals with a wrist injury, the same wrist that already needed surgery last year. Honestly, this was bound to happen. When you play rough instead of smart, hack at opponents instead of refining your game, and rely on brute force rather than skill, injuries aren't a possibility, they're inevitable. This is exactly why Caitlin Clark wanted nothing to do with Unrivaled. She saw what the league was turning into, more about physicality, drama, and trying to look tough rather than real elite competition. Clark made the smart choice. Instead of risking her body for a quick payday, she focused on what truly matters, developing her game and preparing for a long, successful career.
Thank you.
But some players just can't resist fast money. Reese jumped into Unrivaled desperate to prove herself, desperate for attention, and, of course, desperate for that quick cash. And now? She's out, injured, just like that. She put herself at risk in a league that values spectacle over skill, and now she's paying the price. Meanwhile, Napheesa Collier is thriving. She plays with skill, precision, and discipline, the kind of game that leads to longevity, not injuries. She took home the MVP, dominated in scoring, and won the one-on-one tournament without resorting to the reckless play that got Reese sidelined. Clip 13. At the end of the day, real players know what matters. Clark was smart enough to stay out of it. Collier knew how to dominate without taking unnecessary risks. But Reese? She chose chaos, and now, she's stuck watching the semifinals from the sidelines. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever is heading into the new WNBA season in prime position for a serious title run. Unlike teams dealing with injuries, chemistry issues, or off-season drama, the Fever has a fully healthy, well-prepared roster ready to hit the ground running. This is what separates true championship contenders from teams that will spend the season struggling to find their rhythm.